everyone, welcome to our AppSmashing for Telpas webinar. Before we start, please download the following apps from your App Store. You will need 4 different apps. You will need Sock Puppet, Chatterpix Kids, Poplet Lite, and Seesaw. All these apps are free. Awesome! Now, if you don't know where to find the App Store or how to download apps, don't worry. Click on the QR code to watch the mini tutorial and follow along. You will have your apps downloaded in no time.
Okay, so the first thing that I have to do is I have to go to my App Store, which is this app right here, App Store. I'm gonna open it. I'm gonna click on search right here at the bottom, search. And the first app that we are going to need is Sock Puppet. So Sock Puppet. I'm gonna click on it. And it's this app right here, the first app. So I'm gonna click on get. When you see the word get, it means that the app is free. Here we go. Now I'm downloading it. Now it says open. That means that the app has been downloaded to my iPad. Now I'm gonna click on the X and I'm gonna go to my next app, which is Chatterpix Kids. Again, Chatterpix Kids. I'm gonna click on download. It's open, so that means that it's already on my iPad. Then X again. The next app I'm going to need, it's Poplet Lite. Then I'm gonna click on download. It says open. That means it's been downloaded to my iPad. And then finally, I'm gonna look for Seesaw. So remember that we need Seesaw class. Click on it. It says open. So that means it has been downloaded. So it's ready to go. You have all the apps needed for our training.
Welcome again. Bienvenidos. Sit back, take notes, and learn how to app smash por Telpas. Let's begin. Today's webinar is brought to you by my amazing colleague and I. My name is Maria del Pilar Villarreal. I am the elementary teacher facilitator for the Bilingual department. I am an Apple teacher and Seesaw ambassador as well.
And my name is Feli Garcia Lopez, and I'm the Title III Teacher Facilitator at our Garcia Middle School and the Zavala Middle School. I'm an Apple Distinguished Educator and a CISA Certified Educator.
Our content objective for today will be, I will demonstrate my understanding of app smashing and apply my new knowledge to create student activities aligned with the TEKS and the ELPs.
Our language objective for today will be, I will design and develop lesson activities that blend ELPs and TEKS through app smashing. I will share my final product orally with my bilingual partner and in written form on an online platform.
Content objective and language objective. Do you know the difference? The content objective tells us what the students will be learning during a lesson using the TEKS, while the language objective tells us how the students will be learning content through the use of a specific language, such as listening, speaking, reading, or writing, using the ELPs.
Our goal for today is to create activities for our classroom that are aligned to the ELPs and our grade-appropriate TEKS.
While all the ELPs domains are important, we want to keep speaking and writing in mind since they are the most challenging for our students. That's why it is important to include them when planning for activities so our students can practice them at a high academic level at all times. For example, in TELPAS, speaking prompts are scored according to a 2 or 4-point rubric depending on the item type. Moreover, a 2-point item type question is fairly simple, such as making a prediction based on a picture stimulus or using a simple map to provide directions. Verbal responses are limited to 45 seconds. Now, a 4-point item or question is more open-ended, such as using a series of pictures to explain a multi-step process, comparing and contrasting, or taking a position on an issue and defending that position. Verbal responses on these types of questions are limited to 90 seconds.
At this time, please pause the video and scan the QR code on your screen to access a document with tips on scoring well on the speaking portion of the TELPAS test.
What is AppSmashing? AppSmashing is the act of smashing 2 or more apps to create one project, usually an animated video that's published online. You can facilitate app smashing with any app that allows users to 1. Import pictures or video, 2. Publish student work, or 3. Create videos and pictures. The benefits of app smashing in the classroom with our students are endless. For instance, app smashing stretches the imagination for creative thinking. App smashing allows you to push the limits for what's possible with technology. App smashing engages learners in critical thinking tasks. And app smashing brings an element of whimsy and fun to the learning. Are you wondering how app smashing looks like? This diagram illustrates how the app smashing process flows. As you can see, we have 4 steps below. Step 1. You have to keep the end in mind. What do you want to make? How do you want the students to show you what they know? Step 2. Apps smashed. What apps do you know that will help you create that product? Step 3. Smash workflow. How will the apps go together? Focus on import and export options. And last but not least, the finished product. Share your finished product with the world.
These are the apps that we'll be using this webinar to app smash. The reason we selected these apps is because they're perfect for our students to practice the 4 language domains. These apps help our students develop a second language while promoting academic achievement. So again, just to review, CISA is a platform for student engagement that inspires students of all ages to do their best and saves teachers time. Students use creative tools to take pictures, draw, record videos, and more to capture learning in a portfolio. And another amazing app that students love and teachers do too is Chatterpix. Chatterpix allows you to take any photo, draw a line to make the mouth, and record your voice. This app helps those students who are shy to show their face on camera, and it lends itself to make language and academic connections.
This is an example of what your students can create when using Chatterpix. The learning objective for this lesson was to research and write a biography report on John F. Kennedy during our SLA block. Then they were supposed to find a picture of JFK and narrate the report using the Chatterpix app. The students were engaged in reading, writing, speaking, and listening throughout the entire activity. So simply click on the JFK image and be blown away with one of our students' final amazing product.
JFK fue el 35 presidente de Estados Unidos y se graduó en el 1940 en la universidad y se movió a la Universidad Harvard y se casó con una mujer llamada Jasmine.
Here is another example of what AppSmashing can look like. For this project, students used a graphic organizer to compare and contrast two different amphibians. Then, they used Piccollage to display what they were comparing. Next, they AppSmashed it into Chatterpix and brought it to life with the speaking. Finally, they AppSmashed it again and shared it with their classmates and parents on Seesaw. So simply click on the image with the amphibians to view the amazing products our student created.
La rana tiene la piel lisa y suave, tiene patas largas, son placas, da saltos largos. El sapo tiene muchas verrugas, son curvos y tiene patas cortas, es café.
So for this task card for biographies, we are going to pretend that I am the student in your class. So what you see on the screen, on the left-hand side, you see the teacher's task card. And on the right-hand side, you're going to see my iPad, the student's iPad. So the first thing that my teacher wants me to do is to read about the biography of Abraham Lincoln. I have to fill out a graphic organizer using details from the document provided, from the reading that my teacher provided. The second step is for me to script out my final report. So I have 3 documents to look at. My teacher has already uploaded these documents to CISA. She already uploaded the story that I have to read, the graphic organizer, the biography summary, and also the paper that I have to fill out to plan my graphic organizer. So in order for me to access my CISA class, my teacher has to show me my class QR code. So on my iPad, I am going to look for CISA. I'm gonna open it. I'm gonna click on I'm a student. And I'm gonna scan the QR code. I'm gonna select my name or my number because of training purposes. I'm gonna click on the green check mark. And this is where I'm going to find the documents or the PDF documents that the teacher sent me so I can create my AppSmashing activity. So right here, I have the story that I have to read. I can read it. I have the option to add text. I have the option to type. And I also have the option to write on it, right? To annotate on it. I can use a highlighter. So once it is ready, I have all my annotations. I'm gonna click on the green check mark to send it to my teacher. And I'm gonna proceed with step number 2, which is accessing my graphic organizer. And again, I have the option to add text. And this is going to be the paper or the PDF that I am going to be using to plan my script. Once it's ready, I'm gonna click on the check mark again to send it to my teacher. So now that I'm ready with step number 1, step number 2, step number 3 is to go to Google. Look for an Abraham Lincoln picture. So I'm going to type Abraham Lincoln. I'm going to click on Images. I'm going to select the perfect picture, or the picture that I like the most. I'm going to take a screenshot. And then I'm going to crop the picture. I'm going to get rid of whatever I do not need. Once it's ready, I'm going to click on Done, save it to Photos. I'm going to access my photos and make sure that my picture is there. There you go, it's there. And the next step is for me to open ChatterPix. So I'm going to open ChatterPix. I'm going to let it run. I'm going to click on Take a Photo. I'm going to select on Photos, select the photo that I just saved. I'm going to position the photo before I click on Next. I'm going to position it. Next. And then the app is going to tell me exactly what to do. It tells me to draw a line on the mouth. And then I click on the microphone and I have 30 seconds to record my script. Next, again, here I can change the background of the picture. I can select different filters. I can also add stickers. And it's totally up to me. But the picture is perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and click on Next. And then I am going to click on Save. So I can export my picture, my video, my ChatterPix to my camera roll. My export has been completed. I'm gonna make sure that it's in my photos. I'm gonna click on Photos. And there it is. My ChatterPix is ready to go. So my final step is for me to go back to my CISA class. That's my final step. I'm gonna go back to my CISA class. I'm gonna click on the plus add button. I am going to click on Upload, Photos, Recents, and I'm gonna select my ChatterPix, green check mark again, green check mark again, and my activity has been uploaded and sent to my teacher. Now that we're done with this activity, let's reflect. Think about the tasks that we just completed. Did we have activities that targeted the 4 language domains? Was the activity aligned to the TEKS or student expectations? Did we provide a guide for students to follow or a visual to help with understanding of task and content? Did we move through the 4 steps of AppSmashing? Once again, just to recap what Sock Puppets is, this app lets you create your own lip sync videos and share them. You can add puppets, props, and backgrounds, and start creating. Hit the record button and the puppets automatically lip sync to your voice.
Sock Puppet is an outstanding learning tool that you can use in your classroom. Here are some tips on how you can use it. 1. Students can create retellings of stories. 2. They can explain concepts. And 3. Students can create a video to show understanding or give the class a message. For our next activity, we will be using a subtraction with regrouping word problem. We suggest you provide a word bank to all your students to facilitate their comprehension. The example below is for you to complete during our upcoming activity, and it states, Morgan used 723 stone blocks in Minecraft to build her castle. Chase used 518 stone blocks to build his castle. How many more blocks did Morgan use than Chase?
The title of this task card is 3-digit regrouping. The apps that I am going to be using for AppSmashing is going to be Sock Puppets and Seesaw. So my first step is right here. I have to read. Read the word problem carefully and think about what it is asking for you to do. Solve the problem and then think carefully about what you did. What was your thinking process like when solving the problem? Then my teacher wants me to write. So explain in writing what you did to solve the problem. And my teacher is providing me with sentence starters that I can use when I'm writing the solution or how I'm solving the problem. So the sentence starters that I can use, I can explain how to solve A, subtraction with, regrouping, problem, first, next, then, finally, and in conclusion. So first of all, I am going to read the problem. Morgan used 723 stone blocks in Minecraft to build her castle. Chase used 518 stone blocks to build his castle. How many more blocks did Morgan use than Chase? I also have a word bank, subtraction, compare, less than, find the difference, regroup, difference, greater than, remained, and left over. So now that I read my word problem, I have to explain in writing what I did to solve the problem. In order for me to do that, I have to open my Seesaw app and start my writing process there. So now that I'm working on my iPad, I'm going to open my Seesaw class. I'm going to click on the plus and I'm going to go to Note because I am going to be typing or I'm going to be writing how I'm going to be solving the problem. So here is where I'm going to start typing. I can explain how to solve a subtraction with regrouping problem. First, I underline my question. Circle important information such as keywords and eliminate the trash I found. And now that I finished my script, I am going to click on the green check mark to send it to my teacher and have it ready to continue AppSmashing using Sock Puppets.
I can explain how to solve a subtraction with regrouping problem. First, I underline my question, circle important information such as keywords, and eliminate the trash if I found any. Next, I determined that the keyword how many more meant that I had to subtract. Then, I got Morgan's number, 723, because it had the greatest value, and compare it to Chase's number 518. Finally, I got the difference of 723 minus 518 and figured out the difference between both numbers. In conclusion, I determined that Morgan used 205 more blocks than Chase.
So now that my final sock puppet product has been saved to my device, I'm gonna go to my CISA class. I'm gonna click on the plus. I'm gonna click on upload, photos, recent, check mark again, and I finish AppSmashing, sock puppets, and CISA to explain the 3-digit regrouping. Once again, now that we're done with this activity, let's reflect. Think about the tasks that we just completed. Did we have activities that targeted the 4 language domains? Was the activity aligned to the TEKS or student expectations? Did we provide a guide for students to follow or a visual to help with understanding of task and content? Did we move through the 4 steps of AppSmashing? And here's another quick refresher on what Popplet is. Popplet is a mind mapping application and graphic organizer that helps students think and learn visually. With Popplet, learners can capture facts, thoughts, ideas in different ways and immediately connect and visualize the relationships between them.
Popplet Lite can be used for a wide variety of learning opportunities across all content areas. The image to the left illustrates an example of a compare and contrast activity, while the image on the right displays adjectives that are used to describe an object using the 5 senses. Click on the image to the right to listen to this activity.
Hola, mi nombre es Stacy y el nombre de mi pareja es Axel. Y hoy vamos a aprender los 5 sentidos. Y empezamos con el tacto. Un poco de rasposo. Está un poquito rasposo las popcorn. Y el 2, gusto. Se me miran como cositas adentro de las popcorn. Bye.
For this project, students created a graphic organizer on Popplet using images and text and AppSmashed it into Seesaw. There, they added a voice recording to present their final work to their classmates and parents on this learning portal. As you can see, we have provided additional examples of how Popplet Lite can be used in the classroom. Students can use it to retell the beginning, middle, and end of a story. Next, the learner can also use this app in a spelling center to segment words, or they can use it during math to show the different ways a number can be made.
In this task card, I am going to be AppSmashing to review, compare, and contrast. So the first thing that my teacher wants me to do is to look at an anchor chart to guide me into creating a graphic organizer to compare and contrast fiction and nonfiction. So I already know that every time my teacher wants me to look at a picture or at a document, I have to access my CISA class. So the first thing that I have to do is go to my iPad, go to my CISA class, open it, and there it is. My teacher already sent me a document that summarizes the differences between fiction and nonfiction. So I know that fiction is made up, it's read in order, it entertains the reader, it has illustrations, it has characters, it has setting, it has a problem, it has a solution, it tells a story, animals can talk, and of course it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Now, on nonfiction, It has true facts, it's read in any order, it teaches the reader, it has photographs, and it includes text features such as table of contents, photographs, headings, charts, diagrams, labels, caption, index, glossary, right? So everything, this picture that my teacher sent me is summarizing everything that I have learned in class. And now it is my time to show my teacher that I can create a product that shows her that I understood the differences between fiction and nonfiction. So again, I am going to be using Poplet to show my teacher that I can create a graphic organizer that is going to be comparing and contrasting fiction and nonfiction. So with that in mind, I am going to go to my iPad again. I'm going to go to the home button and I'm going to go for look for my Poplet Lite app. So I'm going to open it and here's my canvas. So step number 1, I am going to open Poplet and I'm going to double tap on the screen to see my first Poplet box. So here I am going to type the word fiction. So here you go, fiction. And I can make my text bigger. There it is. So my first Poplet box and the word fiction is there. And my step number 3 is that I can add a picture of my favorite book. To simply search it in on Google, save it to my photo library, and add it to my Poplet. So I already looked for the picture. I already saved the photo of my favorite book. So all I gotta do is click on my Poplet box again, click on picture, open library, go to all photos, and select the picture of one of my favorite fictional books, which is right here. So I need to make the box a little bit bigger so the picture can be seen. And there it is. So I completed step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. So I'm going to move on to step number 5. I'm going to add more Poplet boxes to continue building my graphic organizer. So in order for me to do that, I'm going to click on the gray circle, and the first description of fiction that I learned in class and that I want to show my teacher that I know this is that when it's fiction genre, it has a plot. Then I want to add another description. So I'm going to click on it, gray circle, click on text, and fiction is also not real. Oops, not real. Here we go. And then I'm going to make it smaller. And there we go. Let me hide the keyword. Okay, here it is. Okay, here. There it is. And then I can add another description for fiction, and I can type right here that for fiction, usually the author's purpose is to entertain. Okay, very good. And then I can add a last description, so my graphic organizer looks really nice. I can also say that my fictional genre is always going to have a setting. So there it is. I finished with my fiction graphic organizer, right? So I finished step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. So now I have to continue, I have to do this again, but now with the word nonfiction, right? Because I'm going to be comparing and contrasting nonfiction. So I'm going to follow the same steps I did for fiction. So I'm going to double click on the screen, but now I'm going to be describing nonfiction. I'm going to click on photos, open library, go to all photos, and bring the picture of a nonfiction. Textbook is a perfect example for nonfiction. Okay, perfect. And then now I'm going to click on the gray circle. And here I'm going to type the first description of nonfiction. So what is what is something that I learned about nonfiction? I learned that nonfiction is always true. So let me take the text bigger. I also learned that nonfiction includes text features. Okay, very good. I'm gonna make the box a little bit smaller. I also learned that nonfiction, usually the author's purpose for nonfiction is usually to inform. Okay, then I'm gonna make it smaller, and then finally I'm gonna add a last description so I can have 4. And I know that nonfiction, this genre, is usually going to include real events. Very good. Okay, so I'm gonna minimize my screen. I'm gonna make it a little bit. There we go. Okay. See, I'm gonna fix this text right here so all text matches the same size. So here it is. And then I go to this one to inform so I can fix it. Very good. Okay. So now it's perfect. So now I have my 2 poplets comparing and contrasting my fiction and my nonfiction. There's another one right here. So there we go. Okay. Now it looks perfect. So now that my graphic organizer is ready to go, and I'm gonna save it as JPEG, and then it tells me that my image has been successfully saved into my photo library. I'm gonna go to my photos and I am going to make sure that my photo is there. Perfect. So that's what my teacher told me to do. Go to the iPad camera roll and check to see if your final product is saved. So now that I'm ready to AppSmash my work into CISA. So I'm gonna open my CISA class. I'm gonna click on the green plus add. I'm gonna click on upload. I'm gonna click on photos, reasons. I'm gonna click on my Poplet, green check mark, green check mark again, and my activity has been sent to my teacher. I finished with my task card to compare and contrast fiction and nonfiction.
As we conclude our presentation, I would like for us to review and check if our learning objectives were met. If you can recall, our content objective was, I will demonstrate my understanding of AppSmashing and apply my new knowledge to create student activities aligned with the TEKS and the ELPs.
So let's think about every task that we completed today. Did we design and develop activities that blended ELPs and TEKS through AppSmashing? Did we share our final product with a partner? And did we share it on written form on an online application? I think you will agree with us that we met our content and language objectives.
Thank you so much for listening and participating on our webinar today.
We truly hope that you find the information presented in this webinar helpful.
For any additional assistance, feel free to contact us through email or Twitter.